स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दम् कृपापूर्णम् जगत्पतिम् हरिषड्वर्गजेतारम् नित्यानन्दगुरुम् भजे.
Here Mahadeva is giving a straight technique to achieve this state. There is so many other descriptions about enlightenment. Here I am giving you the description or understanding through which directly you can enter into this technique. Mahadeva says, blessed one, as senses are absorbed in the heart, reach the center of the lotus. He says, as senses are absorbed in the heart, reach the center of the lotus. This is the technique for the people who are living intensely with the senses. I want all of you to understand, we are not living with senses, we are living with mind. Let me tell you how to find out whether we are living with senses or mind. For example, about some ecstasy or experience or joy, if you have your fantasy and visualization, maybe about drinking or smoking or a physical pleasure or lust or some food, if you have a fantasy that this is going to be like this, when you really enjoy, if it was more than the fantasy, you are living with senses. When you are really enjoying, if that experience is less than the fantasy, what you fantasized, you are living in the mind. Fantasy is mind, experience is senses. You yourself can find out whether you are living in the mind or in the senses. If you are living in the senses, enlightenment is easy for you. We are not living in the senses, means we are not living naturally. Because so much of advertisements, ads for the food makes your fantasy about food too big and experiences too small. So much of pornography makes your fantasy about lust too big and experiences too small. Your lost connection with the senses. You are living in the mind, cerebral layer. Our life is now centered in cerebral layer. Person who is centered on the senses, the enlightenment or experiencing the reality, truth, is lot more easy. Let me tell you a small story. It's not even a story, it's actually happened, the truth. One priest who was working in a very famous Shiva temple in South India is not supposed to have non-veg, at least during puja days. He had non-veg and public saw it. And I was attending that program, the program which he is supposed to conduct. So the public who saw it came and complained to me, said that you should not allow him to conduct that program. Because I was supposed to be the decision-making authority in that place. Who will do the first ritual and who will do the second ritual and all those things. They invited me as a guest. I called that priest and asked for explanation. Why did it happen? Usually, during the ceremony days, they have to restrain from non-veg food and all that. They have to keep up all the traditions. Of course, completely avoiding is supposed to be the pure tradition. At least during ceremony, it's a basic necessity. He said, he quoted a story. There was a story, the traditional literature, the Kannappa, story of a hunter, Kannappa. He was a great devotee of Shiva. Not only he used to eat meat, and he will offer the meat to Shiva. He said, when Kannappa's puja and all is accepted, why not my puja? I think I'll have to explain the story of the Kannappa. Only then you'll be able to understand. Only then the point which I am trying to convey, the person of senses and person of the mind, we will be able to understand. There was a great hunter in a forest who lived a complete real physical life. Blessed are those who are living in a place where there is no TV. Blessed are those who are living in a place where there is no fantasy added into their system. I am not blaming the communication system or television. It is good. Because of that only we will come to know whether there is going to be tsunami or whether there is going to be fire, and so many beautiful utility things are there. But when the consumeristic society, consumeristic ideas, especially the corporate world, when it takes over to market their products, the communication system is used to mix poison into the society. It is equivalent to mass poisoning. So much of advertisement for food is naturally nothing but mass poisoning. So much of ad, so much of publicity for food is not required. And after all, everybody, the moment they feel the hunger, they are going to eat. Why should it be marketed so much? Then naturally, the idea to eat comes inside the system again and again. I am talking only about the food, but there are so many things. This guy was fortunate. He lived in forest, so no fantasy was added to your system. He was living purely in senses. He was completely centered on senses. If he smiles, he really is happy. Understand, please understand. Just sit and analyze how many times per day you smile, and how many times really you smiled out of happiness. And how many times out of the social courtesy. When he smiles, he is really happy. When he is angry, he will be really angry. Because he lives on the senses. He does not calculate. See, before you express your anger, you actually go through a full budget. How much it is going to cost, what you are going to gain and what you are going to lose. You go through a complete budget actually. You can see. He's a simple guy, straightforward guy. If he is angry, he is angry. If he is happy, he will be smiling. Over. There is no system of suppression. The automatic sensor does not exist in him. I am not saying you should live without automatic sensor. I am saying the being itself should be defined, not your action. The very being should go through the transformation. As of now, only your action is civilized, not the being. Civilizing the being is what is Vedic civilization. Not civilizing the actions. Civilizing the action is not the civilization. Pseudo. Civilizing the very being. The purpose of our gurukuls, the Vedic traditional gurukuls, are civilizing the very being. Without reducing the power of the senses, the being will be civilized. But in the so-called developed societies, the power of the sense has to be disturbed, shaken completely to make you as a civilized being. We have lost too many things, too many precious things in this so-called civilization, in this so-called civilization. Is a young man living just with senses, very simple hearted person. Traditionally, the whole family respects and devotes Shiva, devoted to Shiva. Devotees of Shiva, understand? When this kind of persons, people are devoted, they will be really devoted. When they fall flat, they really mean it. I have seen many people, before falling flat, they will hold that credit card bag. They will hold the cell phone. They will be holding the purse. When he falls flat and does namaskar, he really means it. When he touches the feet, he really means it. Many times, when people try to touch my feet, I used to get frightened. Because you don't know. They think I can't see inside. So much of vengeance and violence is inside. You don't know whether they are going to touch your feet or pull your feet. But when Kannappa falls, he really means. When he bows down, he really means. That kind of a being. For them, no need for any prana pratishtha or energizing process. The moment they see the idol, it is deity for them, it is God for them. The prana pratishtha process is needed only for the guys who are very complicated, who are very simple. For them, no prana pratishtha is needed. The moment they see the carved statue, they know it is God. Over. But ordinary mind cannot accept. No. How can just a carved statue be God? Of course, there are some extraordinary minds, even after energizing, it is not God for them. Forget about them. Now we don't have time to talk about them. For a simple being who is living in the senses, for him, the moment there is a murti, it is God, over. There was a small Shivalinga under a tree in the forest. He saw that Shivalinga. The moment he saw, he became devotee. He started taking care of that murti. As he feels, as he knows, he started feeling connected and do that puja every day. Maybe because his father has forced him to come and do, he must be. Anyhow, he comes and does puja as he wants or as he feels. But of course, for the priest, it is a routine. It is a routine. But for Kannappa, the hunter, it is life. For him, it is the life. Every day he takes food, water, everything, and puts in front of Shiva, cleans that murti, and puts some flowers, does the puja, and goes back. Next day when the priest comes and sees, God, meat is in front of the deity, and that also the story says beautifully, he will kill the pig and nicely fry it, what they say, barbecue, in this country. After doing all that process, he will chew and see whether it tastes nice or not. If it tastes nice, those tasty parts he will pick it up and keep it separately. Bring that and offer. The priest was shocked. It is practically disrespect to the deity. So the priest got the shock and he threw everything, cleaned everything, and it's practically like a graffiti. For him, The kids come and do some graffiti outside the walls. Same way, somebody has come and done some abusal things. Anyhow, he does his puja and goes back. Again, next day he sees the meat is in front of the deity. One day this priest thought, what is this? What is going on? Every day it is happening. After a week, it is too much. He decided to stay there behind the tree and watch who is the guy who is coming and doing all this. Who is the guy who is coming and disrespecting the deities and doing all this. He just wanted to stand and watch. He was hiding. So as usual, Kannappa came singing and dancing. He was having meat in his one hand and the other hand having all the other things needed for puja. His kind of worship. And all the flowers, forest flowers he plucked, and he did not have place to, he doesn't know how to hold. So he put all the forest flowers in his head. And how to carry water? There is no vessel. So he filled his mouth. He came straight and spit the water. And Shiva and cleaned the linga with a cloth. Surely I will not allow in our temple. Of course, if I really get a Kannappa, I will allow. Wipes the Shivalinga and puts all the flowers and puts the meat. And the priest saw from behind. He just want to jump and fire that guy, shout at that guy. But he saw the hunter is well built and a very strong guy. He thought, I am all alone now. Better not to make any steps. Better not to mess up with this guy. He just decides to stay there. But suddenly he sees a scene, very strange scene. From the eyes of the Shivalinga, blood started coming. From the eyes of the Shivalinga, still that Shivalinga is there. There is a place called Kalahasti in Andhra Pradesh. If you travel, never miss to see that Shivalinga. In the Kalahasti temple itself, if you just go above the hill, you may have to walk some 3-4 miles. Never ever think these are stories. Understand? Never ever think these are stories. Understand? They had only the vision to see what has happened in the time and space. Our masters, they had the vision. The Western historians had the vision to see only what has happened in length, breadth and depth. Our masters had the vision to see what has happened in time and space also. Ordinary history is something, record of what has happened in length, breadth and depth, in this 3 dimension. Purana is something, is the record of what has happened in length, breadth, depth and time and space. Understand? The Western historians cannot understand what has happened in time and space. Our masters have recorded what has happened in time and space also. So never ever think these are stories. You can go and see that Shivalinga. It's still there. If you go near, actually you can go and even touch that Shivalinga and see, because it is not under the control of any particular priest. You can go and touch and see. The eye part is not a stone, and still I don't know what the material it is. Surely not a stone. I touched and saw that Murti. It's not stone. Anyhow, the blood started coming from the eyes, and the priest had the fear stroke, and he was completely shaken. He thought Shiva is angry with this kind of worship, with the worship which is done by Kannappa. That is why the blood is coming through the eyes. But the next scene was the real scene. Kannappa was really devoted person. He cannot tolerate the blood in his father's eyes. He ran here and there and brought some herbs and tried to do some treatment. Nothing was working. Blood continued to flow. Then they know only crude form of treatment. Eye for eye. And maybe the first eye transplantation surgery. He decided just to remove his own eyes and fix it. He just took an arrow, removed his own eyes and fixed it. Understand? A person who is living on the senses completely, only he can decide to do this strong sacrifice. Not a person who is living in the mind. He will go through a full calculation before taking any decision. No, the Shivalinga can be replaced, one more deity can be brought, but not my eyes. God is not just in this stone, you see. We can bring another one stone and install, God can be there and we can give our puja and He will accept. We have too long philosophies and scriptures to justify. God is everywhere is a beautiful truth, but not to justify your actions. Not to justify your actions. Naturally we will justify, why should we give the eyes and all that is too much. Let's bring another one deity and we can put the energy and we can do the same prana pratishtha. After all, it is going to have one more ceremony, that's all. What is there? We will do puja for that murti, over. But fortunately, he is not that intellectual. He straight away removed the eyes and put. For him, deity means God. Deity does not represent God, deity is God. Understand? There's a big difference. Deity is God and deity representing God. For most of us, it only represents God, not is. For him, is. It is not representing God, it is God. So he put his eyes. This is the ultimate shock for the priest. Not only he can't even imagine, forget about doing, he can't even imagine. At the most, he would have went and reported to his father, tomorrow onwards I don't have to go because the deity is not anymore live. He may feel relieved. Anyhow, scene is not ending here. This is not the climax. After he fixed the eyes, the blood stopped coming from one eye. The other eye, blood started coming. One eye got healed, the other eye, blood started coming. Shiva is the guy, he will test you till the end. He will corner you completely because he has to give enlightenment. To give you wealth, you don't need to be tested. All you need to be tested is, will you be able to maintain it properly and use it? That's all. So Vishnu does not have to do too much testing of you. He can straight away bless you. All right, let him have. What is there? See, to have ordinary weapons, we don't need to do the background checkup. But to give an atomic weapon, nuclear weapon, we need to have a complete background checkup about that person who is going to be responsible to handle the nuclear weapon. Enlightenment is nuclear weapon for positive use. New and clear. It is new and clear. So before sharing that, he has to see the depth. He will test you to the end. In the other eyes also the blood has started coming. Kannappa did not even think twice. He did not even think twice. He straight away decided to remove the other eye and replace it. See the surrender and dedication. Namaha means I and mine is yours. When Kannappa says Namaha, he means it. Shivaya Namaha means he says, I and mine is yours. Ma means mamakara. Whatever is mine and I is yours. That's what is Namaha means. Only Kannappa is authorized to utter the word Shivaya Namaha. We have to say Shivaya minus my property Namaha, minus my eyes Namaha, minus my body Namaha, minus my all these things Namaha. When Kannappa says, he means it. When he falls flat and says Namaha, he means the body and mind is yours. Very literally. Very literally. Actually, you don't need to remove your eyes and keep and all. That's why in our Shivalinga I did not keep any eyes. We will not have any problem. You don't have to do that. You need an intense attitude. That's enough. Nothing else is required. Attitude is enough. Shiva knows what to take from you and what not to take from you and what to give you. Just the simple attitude of Namaha. You will see. You experience the truth. Anyhow. Second eye also the blood had started coming. He did not think even second time. One eye for you, one eye for me. No. No. He straight away decided to remove the second eye. He was about to take that second eye out. Then he suddenly thought, if I remove this eye also, how will I see where to fix the eye? I will become completely blind. I will not know where to put the eyes. I will not know where the Shiva's eyes are there. How to mark? Now both hands are necessary to remove this eye. But after removing the eye, I will become blind. But where will I put that eyes? How will I know where the Shiva's eyes are there? Second eyes. So he decided to mark the place of that eye by his right foot. He put his right foot on the second eye, where the blood is coming, as a mark, point mark. Because he can't have any other point. After his eyes are removed, he is completely blind. How can he see where he will put the eyes? How to do the surgery? So he takes his right foot and puts it on the second eye, where the blood is coming, and removes the second eye. Puts the second eye on the eyes of the Shiva exactly. Suddenly he sees one hand holding his hand and guiding. He was shocked. Who is in this forest guiding my hand? And that hand is not guiding to put that eyes on the Shiva's eyes. It is guiding, turning the eyes back to his own eyes. Turning his hand back to his own eyes. And the story ends with the climax. Shiva appeared and blessed him, not only with two eyes, with the third eye also. Understand, still, in all temples, when Shiva Puja is done, they will chant the mantra when they worship the eyes of the Kannappa, not eyes of the Shiva. Shiva is considered as having only 1.5 eyes. Because he is Ardhanari, half goes to Devi. 1.5. In this 1.5, one belongs to Kannappa. Only he has got only half eye. The eyes are worshipped as Kannappa's eyes. He has become immortal, remembered in all Shiva temples, just because of his devotion. Just because of his devotion. Two things. Even now, our mind may not be able to receive or accept logically all these things are possible. because we are poisoned too much with the logic. And still we are made to believe logic is the totality of life. Our life can be analyzed, understood, lived just with the development of logic. That is the worst lie taught to you. Worst lie taught to you is everything can be logic. First of all, explain logically about your death. The death, greatest thing in the life. Still there is no logic. Why, when, where, who, what? These questions about death still unanswered. This very clearly proves logic is too small thing to handle life. Logic is too beautiful. It is useful to handle your staff, your workers, your bank accounts, your money, your house, your infrastructure. But that is not the right tool to handle your life. Life cannot be handled by logic. We may not logically able to understand this whole incident. Understand, I am not asking you, or I am not telling you we should remove our eyes and keep it on Shivalinga, no need. But this attitude, this strength, this surrender, this mood, you will live totally in a different space. Totally in a different space. Shiva gives the name for him. You are my father who gave me eyes. That is the meaning of the word Kannappa. Kannappa means father who gave the eyes. Shiva says, you are my father who gave the eyes. Don't think you are my child, you are my father. Because you gave me part of my body. Traditionally Shiva had Kannappa as a father, another one devotee, Karikalamiyar. She was considered as a mother. Two devotees of Shiva was considered as a father and mother. Even now both of them receive Shraddha, Puja by Shiva directly. The Shraddha is done with the name of Shiva. The Gotra and Tidhi and everything. The traditional respect offered. The truth behind this story, Kannappa can do that puja because he is living with the senses completely. He is not living in the mind. But the person who is living in the mind cannot do what Kannappa did.
India has given birth to great Paramahamsas, mystics, saints and divine avatars who have consistently delivered this world from darkness to light. One such enlightened master, exuding divine grace, overwhelming compassion and unfathomable spiritual knowledge, all at a very young age, is Paramahamsa Nithyananda.
Koti Surya Swarupinam Anandagandha Ishwaram Bhakta Hridaya Nivasinam Nithyanandam Namostude. Koti Surya Swarupinam Anandagandha Ishwaram Bhakta Hridaya Nivasinam Nithyanandam Namostude.
Nithyananda was born as Rajashekharan, the second son of his parents Arunachalam and Lokanayaki, in the temple town of Tiruvannamalai, South India. 10 days after he was born, the family astrologer predicted that Rajashekharan would grow up to become a Raja Sannyasi and guide the world, something his parents were not happy to hear. At the age of 10, Rajashekharan was initiated by Raghupati Yogi. In his moment of initiation, Rajashekaran was blessed with a vision of Parashakti. He went home and carved the vision he had in soapstone. One day, Rajashekaran was found etching a complex shape on a copper foil. It was the sacred Shri Chakra. The Shri Chakra is believed to be a diagrammatic representation of the cosmos. Sri Ramana Maharishi, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Sharada Devi were sources of inspiration for young Rajashekaran. At the age of 12, on the sacred day of Buddha Purnima, Rajashekaran had an intense encounter with the divine, an out-of-body experience that was to change the course of his life. By his 17th year, Rajashekaran's spiritual quest became too fierce to be ignored. He left home on a journey of arduous self-discovery with no assurance whatsoever, but only a glimpse of the divine he received at the age of 12. He wandered far and wide, studying and practicing meditation, from Tapovan in the Himalayas to Kanyakumari in the south, from Dwarka in the west to Ganga Sagar in the east. He wandered for 7 years in India and in Nepal. With just 2 pieces of clothing and a kamandalu, a holy water jug, and with no idea of where his next meal would be. One day in Gaurikund, he beheld a breathtaking vision. A young man with a glowing countenance and flowing locks was walking towards him with long strides and divine grace. Wonderstruck and gazing at him, Rajashekaran realized that this was none other than Mahavtar Babaji, the enlightened master dwelling in the Himalayas for thousands of years in perpetual youth. It was this great saint who looked at him and uttered the name Paramahamsa Sri Nithyananda, an enlightened being in a physical body, young at heart but wise in mind. Rajashekaran undertook years of rigorous penance, intense meditation practices, and in-depth study of yoga, tantra, Vedanta, and Shaiva philosophies before he attained the ultimate state of consciousness, the state of Nithyananda, or eternal bliss. Word of the charismatic saint rode the winds in every direction. People visited Nithyananda from far and near. Effortlessly, he won their hearts. The time had come, and Nithyananda was ready to execute the real purpose of his divine birth, the purpose as a guru, as a master to the entire humanity. Life Bliss Foundation is his worldwide movement to spread his message of meditation and inner bliss. With its spiritual nerve center in Bangalore, India, and its Western Hemisphere headquarters in Los Angeles, USA, it operates through 1,000 centers and over 78 upcoming ashrams in 30 countries, causing transformation of humanity through transformation of the individual. How does one describe this great master? The charm of a child, the healing hands of a doctor, the compassion of a mother, the wisdom of a guru. To those who struggle under the many burdens of life, his presence itself is the answer they seek. In his arms, thousands find refuge, the ailing, the needy, and the seekers of God. The Master is an invitation to a journey inwards. in his own words, "Just allow me to light your being, then you will know that you are pure consciousness and your being pure bliss."
Nityam sharanam gacchami, dhyanam sharanam gacchami, anandam sharanam gacchami, nityanandam sharanam gacchami.
नित्यं चरणं गच्छामि, ध्यानं चरणं गच्छामि, आनन्दं चरणं गच्छामि, नित्यानन्दं चरणं गच्छामि, नित्यं चरणं गच्छामि, ध्यानं चरणं गच्छामि, आनन्दं शरणं गच्छामि, नित्यानन्दं शरणं